All right, here we go. Test it again. So
I, Tyrone Jones,
promise to share the truth,
promise to share the truth,
the whole truth,
nothing but the truth,
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay,
so go ahead and give me your first and last name.
My name is Tyrone Jones, and my age is 73, and I was born in 1950.
1950. So you got to witness a whole lot.
I did.
From 1950 to 2023.
A whole nother world.
A lot of changes. So let's start with what city and state neighborhood you from?
City, Cincinnati, state, Ohio, and neighborhood, Lincoln Heights, Zone 15.
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit.
Zone 15. I stayed at 1256 Chamberlain Street.
Okay.
And my mom and my dad stayed at 1256 Chamberlain Street for a little while. And you may not know, but I got hit by a car when I was 5 years old. The lady up the street, I saw her coming, and they was trying to tell me not to come, but I came anyway, and soon I came, she hit me with the car, and I got stuck up under the car, and I probably went down, I guess, I'm gonna say about 50 yards, and then she stopped the car.
It's like half a football field.
Not 50 yards.
50 yards?
Yeah.
That's half.
Is it? Okay, well, the Wagner stead on
Mm-hmm.
I was in front of my grandma's house to there.
Okay. Wow, yeah.
So, they say Pete told me recently, my Uncle Pete told me recently, he said, Mom came out of nowhere and ran down there and got you from up under that car, and somebody called the ambulance, then the ambulance came, and then I went to the hospital. And from that incident, I was in the hospital probably 5 or 6 months.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was in the hospital about 5 or 6 months. And my mom, she told me, she said, I bought you some blue suede shoes to the hospital. So
Elvis was
right. Hey, Elvis. She told me. She said it was about Elvis, and then my mom and dad, they named me after Tyrone Power.
Oh, okay.
And as time went on, I was older, and at 1256 Chamberlain Street, me and my sister was there, and there was multiple siblings there before we got there that lived there. So when we came there, being real, we were like black sheeps. They wanted us there, the children, but they didn't.
Okay.
For the simple reason that we was taking food out of their mouth.
Right, I got you.
And that's being real with you now.
Yeah.
And also, I remember, I used to buy all my clothes and have most of them tailor-made back there. I worked at the school.
You're talking about you got older.
Yeah, when I was like 12, 13 years old.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, 12, 13. Yeah, been having my clothes made all my life. Well, anyway, a year probably 1965. I had a lot of tailor-mades and stuff that I was.
So you like 15?
Yeah, 15. And I had a lot of stuff made that I was going to school with in the summertime. Bobby was going to service at that time, my Uncle Bobby.
Okay.
He took all my school clothes with him to service. And that was a thing, and I told my grandma, and in so many words, she said, in so many words, stop complaining. You stand here, and you're not paying rent, and you're eating. I'm a freaking child now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that went on, and my grandma and grandma, they was good people. Don't get me wrong, they were good people, but we all have
dealing with poverty.
Dealing with poverty. And my grandma, she worked in Wyoming at a lot of people's house, cleaning their house and stuff. And they would give her different gym shoes and all kinds of stuff, and she would bring them home and give them to us. And that type deal. So that's how we got a lot of our stuff from the people in Wyoming that gave stuff to my grandma to bring home to us. And then my grandpa, he worked at Diamond International over in paper company over in Reading, and they used to have Christmas parties every year. They used to give all the children, we used to go over there, and they used to give us $50, silver dollars, give us a bag of groceries to bring back home, and all that kind of stuff. In the house that we stayed in at 1256 Chamberlain Street, my grandpa's supervisor gave him money to buy that house, and my grandpa paid him so much a week until he got him paid off. I mean, to buy the house back then wasn't more than $1,500 to buy a 2-story house. So the supervisor gave it to him, and he gave him so much a week because he liked my grandpa. He called him Peter, and that type deal. But growing in a house with multiple people, and it was a little different. And also my grandpa, you know, he was a good man now, but he drunk a lot. And when he drunk, he would pull his guns out. And when he pulled his guns out, it was people standing upstairs. Mr. Woodruff would stand upstairs. He was a person that was renting upstairs, and he worked at Stanton Foster. Quiet man. You never knew he was up there. But anyway, when my grandpa used to get to drinking stuff, he would get his gun out, and he'd get that whiskey in any man, totally different person. He would be arguing at my grandma and stuff and want to fight her, get her gun out, and he'd be shooting out in the ceiling. And when we in the house. And when we did that, we'd be ducking on the ground and stuff, man. And then he'd be like fighting my grandma. We would all jump on him then, for real. We would all jump on him, get him to the floor, man, and try to get the gun away from him and that type deal. And he would say, "Get off me, get off me." So we would stay on him long enough for my grandma, to get out of the house. And sometimes she went to her girlfriend's house. We stayed in the back or down the street, or sometimes she even go to Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
And my grandpa had to, go up there and get her, and that type deal. And also, my grandpa, he was my cat, though. Regardless of what he did, he was my cat. I could talk to him about anything. I remember he bought a brand new car, and he let me use his brand new car, and at that time, like, 16, 17. And I'm going down the skating ring. We used to go skating all the time, down the skating ring. And I got
skating ring was that?
Johnson skating ring, down on Anthony Wayne, right there between Lockland and Lincoln Heights, right on the borderline. And my grandpa let me use his brand new car, so I'm clean, going to hang out with the guys, and the girls see me in this new car. It's one of those things we did. Man, I got too close to the side of the road, man, and there was a pipe sticking up, and it got hooked up under the exhaust system of the brand new car, and me and my cats, we tried to lift it up. We could not get it off of the pipe because it was too far up in the air. So the only thing I could do was pull forward. When I pulled forward, it pulled the muffler system from a brand new car. So me and my cats, we hung out a while at the skating ring and that type of deal. Later in the night, we pushed the car down the street into the driveway. The next morning, my grandpa got up and got in the car, and it sounded like a freaking tank. My grandpa, to this day, he never said a mumbling word about how I did it or what I did it. We was that tight.
Wow.
And going back a little bit, I used to wait up for my grandpa when he get off work. Every night he was on 311, and I'll wait for him to get off work at 311, and he eat, and then he always bring a quart of beer home.
Okay.
And he always used to give me a sip of it. And my grandma said, "Stop giving him, that alcohol." But me and my grandfather, man, we had a relationship just was unbelievable. He treated me like his son, in spite of it all. He was good to me, and that type deal. But then, as I got older, I didn't want to go by his rules and regulation to a degree. So then I had to leave the house, and I went to stay with Castella, my aunt. She stayed in the Valley Homes. I stayed with her a while, and now I'm 16 or 17 years old. I stayed with Cat probably, 3 or 4 years. And then after I stayed with Cat for a few years, which was good and very good, I started staying with my aunt Alice for a couple of years, because I used to babysit for.
So how old were you around this time?
About 19 or 20.
Okay.
And I used to babysit for Alice and Carlos. Carlos worked at the post office, and Alice worked at Keebler Cookie Company.
Gotcha.
And at the time, I was still in school when I was at Cat's house. So when I got my children, I used to have Linda Cheney. She used to come over to Valley Home, and that's when my kids came into play, Tyrone and Yolanda.
Okay. Well, let's rewind for a second right before you had your children. You was with Kat. Well, you said you was with your aunt Alice.
I was with Kat for like 3 or 4 years.
So you was still in high school. When
Yeah,
you was with,
yeah. I was doing this. This is 68, 67, 68.
Okay. So I want to hit on that your high school time because you had some accolades at that time.
Oh yeah, my high school time. I ran track. I ran the 100. I ran the 220. I anchored the 880-yard relay, and I long jumped.
What school were you at?
I was at Lincoln Heights High School. And also I went to Lincoln Heights Elementary School where I worked in the cafeteria.
Okay. So did you ever, you never went to Princeton?
No,
so
no.
Princeton didn't Lincoln Heights didn't transition to Princeton?
To 1970 when I graduated.
Okay, that was the year you graduated.
I graduated in 70. That fall of 70, Lincoln Heights didn't exist no more. They went to Princeton High School.
Got you. So your senior year, was it only your senior? You went to state.
I went to state 4 years in a row. 67.
You went state 4 years.
Yeah.
Straight.
67, 68, 69, and 70. 4 years in a row I went to state.
All for the same event.
For the 100, 220, 880-yard relay, and long jump.
So how did you place at state 4 years straight?
I placed in state for the 880-yard relay, first place. I placed in state for the 100-yard dash, third place. I placed for the long jump, I came in second place. And 100, third, 220, I came in first place.
220.
Yeah, 220.
So that's your main race.
Well,
all of them, I guess.
Yeah,
you long jump.
Yeah, long jump. Yeah. I used to.
What was your long?
I used to long jump way back then, probably close to 18 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, man, I was kind of untouchable.
Untouchable?
Yeah, I was kind of untouchable. I mean, you know, I used to say, I don't pick them, I just play them. So that was my saying back there.
I mean, whoever they put out there.
Right. I don't pick them, I just play them.
If they go find somebody better.
And believe this or not, before I used to run in the greater Cincinnati city, they used to give me first 4-place medals even before I ran.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
What you mean?
Back then, before I ran, I go to all the schools and all that. They would give me 4 first-place medals before I do anything.
So you ain't have to run.
I didn't have to run.
Know what you was
they already know the scope. Hey, people don't believe it, but it's real. So, but then later, I worked in the school cafeteria, man, and that's how I got most of my money to buy my telemades back then. And I gave my grandma a few dollars for staying at the house. Not a whole lot, but I gave her something because that was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, like I say, she would come by there to make sure me and my sister had a little money and clothes on our back.
Got you. So after high school, did you go to college?
Nope, I didn't go to college. After high school, my senior year, I had about 18 scholarships that I could go anywhere I wanted to. And at that time, for track. Okay. And at that time, I told Texas, I think it was Texas, the Longhorn. I said I want to get married and that type of deal, because back then when you got out of high school, you got a job and you got married. And I had 2 children, so I wanted to marry. And I told the college.
High school when you had those 2?
Yeah, I was in high school.
Okay, I didn't know.
68 and 70.
So you was a junior senior.
Junior senior. I got 2 children. And when I was graduating, I told this one specific college what was going on with my life. And they said, you want to get married? Get married and bring your wife down here too. But I didn't do it because I didn't have nobody. I was scared. I didn't have nobody tell me it's okay to be scared, but go. So, and then all the people that used to be around me before I was going to all my track events in my senior year, everybody just left me. So I was just stuck with 18 scholarships and was scared.
And didn't know what to do.
And didn't know what to do.
Nobody in the family at the time had been further than
nope.
high school, college?
Not to my knowledge. Nope.
Interesting, because I was interviewing your mom, and it came back that she revealed that she only went to.
Third grade?
No, she said she started. She didn't go to school until she was 10 years old.
Really? Now, see, I didn't know that.
She said she never been to school till she was 10 years old. And I asked her, did they teach you how to read and write before you got to school? She said no. She said she didn't learn how to read or write till she was 10 when she went to Xenia, Ohio.
My Lord, my Lord.
So she said after she went to Xenia, Ohio, and they start teaching her how to read and write, then she said she don't remember if she made it through the 8th grade because she got married at 16.
Right, to my father.
She said she wasn't in school no more then. So she said she only thinks she maybe went to from the 3rd grade to the 8th grade.
Really? Okay, you tell me some news now.
Yeah, so I was looking at that. You can see how family dynamics.
Right, absolutely. I mean, you know.
Because if she don't know, she ain't never been out of high school, and probably your great grandmother and your